Welcome back to another episode of City Refs, the unofficial officials. I'm your boy Mondo. Of course, we have everyone's favorite Varsity Dan. And today we have a special guest, Jared Marcus from LegitSportzCardz. How's it going, brother?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good, man. What's going on? You know what's crazy is when we first started getting into these breaks, you were, I think, out of town and you weren't showing your video. So we didn't know what you looked like for the longest time.
Yeah, we were. I was ripping out of my parents' house over the holidays.
This dude, he'll rip anywhere, baby.
that is a pro. You can literally rip anywhere as a breaker, as long as you have internet, a phone, and obviously the product.
Yeah. Hey, but I know you were showing off that koozie, man. Oh, baby, that looks good.
Oh, baby, it does. We got the koozie with the Florida Man beer.
Oh, nice.
So very, very fitting.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys sending over the merch, and we repping the shirt too.
Oh man, yeah, that shirt looks good. Matches well with the hat.
Absolutely, and of course, the legit sports cards hat. We'll have a version 2 soon. I'll definitely send you guys some once they're ready to rock.
Yeah, we'll say LegitSportzCardz sponsored this episode, and we'll rock the hat for an episode.
Yeah.
Oh man, so we were just talking because I'm completely new to getting into cards this year, and especially breaks and whatnot. This is like Daniel's specialty. He's the one who got me addicted. I blame everything on him. And
I think I remember seeing in the chat, oh, this is my buddy. He's gonna join a break. It's his first time. I'm like, oh well, if he hits, once you hit once, you're addicted.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. Well, I guess it started. Daniel brought cards to the ambush game, and we were ripping with Miggy.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of want to explain that a little bit, Danny?
Yeah, so obviously before you got the Chrome product, we had the flagship, which is paper product. And I knew that Miggy was going to be there because we were going to meet up with his brother. So I was like, it'd be pretty cool, man. I know, some people get a kick of watching players open their own cards. So I was like, let's see if he's down for it. And then that day we found out that he was chasing himself too. So he's a collector now. Now that he has cards, he started collecting them. So that was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. But on that, like talking about how people got started, we kind of jumped ahead like we always do. Can you kind of tell us like how you got started, breaking and all that?
Yeah, sure. So I've been around cards forever. I think I made my eBay account in 2003.
Oh, man.
So it was a long time ago. I turned 32 in a couple weeks, so you can do the math. I was pretty young and probably not allowed to be on eBay at the time. Don't delete my account now. But essentially, been around cards for a long time, and then really during COVID, obviously picked it up again because we're all stuck at home. And I'm sure everybody's had the story of, during COVID, I picked up cards, and I'm somebody who's been around it, but definitely started to jump into it again. Just to collect, something to do at home, and then, throughout the coming months, started to look for some inefficiencies. My mind's always racing as a hobbyist, but also as a businessman. So I was trying to figure out, how do you get soccer cards during COVID when everything's closed?
Yeah.
The only way to get cards was breaking. So I started participating in breaks just to get some cards, send some to get graded, and then essentially from there, I figured, why should I be joining breaks when I can run breaks and also join them at the same time?
Right.
Kind of get the best of both worlds. So broke for about 2 years, and then going into last year, this will be, I guess, year 3 of truly breaking. And MLS came about during Prism, when World Cup Prism came out.
Oh, I thought you said prison. I was like, man, this dude had a full life.
It was something where it was like Prism was so expensive, and it's a great product, but I was looking for something just cheaper that was fun to open while also being able to collect. I'm in Orlando, so collecting Orlando City was obviously something I wanted to do.
Right.
And really just jumped on Whatnot and started to just open a box. I said, I'm just going to buy a case. I'm going to open a box live, maybe auction some singles as I'm ripping, and go from there. And I ripped about 3 boxes, and everybody started asking me for a personal box. So I said, okay, I'll just start opening boxes for people. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then from there, we hit some crazy cards. We had like a Hani Mukhtar /5 red auto, which is impossible out of 22 Chrome. And then from there, I saw there was nobody running MLS breaks. Like, they're running them on Facebook groups. They're running them all over, even on eBay, but nobody's on Whatnot. So I figured, why not? I'll try to fill a break. It worked. And then kind of the rest is history. We just started opening up cases after cases. Sometimes we'd fill 5 or 6 cases a night and just, like, plow through product. And it was fun. It's cheap product. You know, at the time, 600 a case, 700 a case is pretty reasonable when World Cup Prism is 600 a box.
Right, yes.
You know, so you can rip a whole case. And then just started hitting really big cards. And then as you start hitting big cards for every collector, it kind of falls into place. More people will want to join in and get their big card. And, you know, it's a trickle-down effect from Chrome to Finest, which came out. Renaissance came out later in the year. That was a big product as well. Which this year, hopefully, obviously messy, but having some St. Louis players would be pretty awesome. Having some match-worn memorabilia, autographs on card.
That'll be sick, man. And you know what's crazy is, like you said, I don't think it's just like people hitting big hits. Like, that's definitely playing a big role in why people keep coming back. But like, if you're like, you know, just bored and free on a Friday night or whatever, you guys break cards, like, people wait all day for those breaks and they're like, dude, I'm not letting this bid go. I'm getting that spot, you know, like, I waited all day. Like, so it's definitely entertaining. And then, like, for someone like, since I've been breaking over this last month or whatever it is, like, there's multiple breakers. You kind of see like how people do it, and you're probably one of our favorite, you know, breakers out there. Like, just the way you handle it, because there's been some slow breakers out there, and some of the techniques are, you know, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, sometimes people say I rip too fast, but you know, people just want the hits at the end of the day. You know, obviously, you do have people who always want their base cards. That's fine. You know, people give them out at games. You get them signed. Completely understand. But when you're a couple months into a product, I don't think everyone needs their base cards. People just want the hits just to keep it, you know, moving on. But the one thing that, you know, you talk about favorite breakers, you know, I tried to, before this podcast, I was thinking, you know, what sets other breakers apart? Obviously, being personable is definitely one of them, and just kind of like being a straight shooter. I feel like one of the things that I like to do is just have good dialogue, which maybe you guys have seen throughout, you know, my breaks, and just, you know, talk about soccer, talk about what's going on, what'd you guys do today, you know, like, yeah, we're opening cards, but try to build a sense of community and just, you know, everybody's chilling out, you know, Tuesday night, maybe getting dinner, having a drink. I'm going to rip some cards, everybody. You know, you have a lot of people who are collecting their teams.
Yeah.
And that's one of the values where it's like, I want to get people their cards. I want to help build everybody's rainbows so that they can get their 101s, their reds, you know, everything to help build their, you know, their PCs.
Yeah, and it's been crazy. I remember, well, this is a whole funny situation here. So I think it was like, was it my first weekend breaking? Like, Daniel would be like, hey, send me the link. Let me know which one it is. And so I would hop in and I would just bid people up and get the spots. And I mean, I was wasted. Like, I was gone. So I was taking every STL spot possible. And then Daniel's like, hey, man, calm down. Those are Miggy's cousins, man. You can't be doing them dirty.
You know, that to jump onto that topic, that was one thing that, so coming into this year's product, knowing that St. Louis didn't have any cards besides Topps Now cards, or even just being in the flagship product, you know, a month prior, you know, I knew there would be some demand because it's your first cards. They had a pretty solid checklist of the players. You know, everybody wants, you know, they can obviously add more, but having first year cards, number one, and then having a whole new group of collectors who may not have collected prior to, you know, being a St. Louis fan is just a good combination of getting more people into the hobby and especially the MLS hobby as a whole, because it's fun. It's definitely a good community-based, not as cutthroat as some other, you know, sports and genres. It can be pretty rough out there. You know, everybody's looking out for each other. You know, if I see a big card, I'll message somebody. You know, if somebody has this card, you should reach out and try to connect everybody just to, you know, I think I did that for you guys. It's just like, it's the right thing to do. and it's just like makes it more fun. You know, if you do something good, hopefully, you know, return the favor down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we believe that too. Because I know I reached out a couple times. Because like I said, I don't even know what cards. Like Daniel probably sick of me. I'm like, hey, how much should I sell this? How much should I sell this? And then I even reached out to you a couple times on Instagram, and you're like, you tell me what to do. I don't want to let the people know, our secrets, but. But I mean,
I think you asked. I mean, essentially, you even just asked like how to just even like get some stuff shipped, and I'm pretty easy. Like as long as I'm busy, but if you hit me at the right time, I will go on a tangent, and I'll talk to you for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, and I want I don't want to leave the conversation hanging. So it's like I'm gonna always continue to try to give you as much information as possible.
Yeah, and what's crazy is too, and Danny can speak on this a little bit. Like it definitely is like a huge community. Like you recognize the same names like every break, because Daniel would text me and be like, "Oh, so and so's in here, man. You're about to get bid up, or don't go for Austin, or don't go for Atlanta because so and so will get it." You know what I mean? So like it's awesome to see that time and time again, and then it translates over to other social media platforms as well. And then Danny, you can kind of speak on that too.
Yeah, so I've also been around since COVID. I didn't really collect much before then. COVID was really whenever I really jumped in. And yeah, it happened. The first time I got on Whatnot, I hit a to 10 gold Griezmann. And after that, I was like, ooh, okay, okay, this is fun. And then I just kept going, and 2022 Topps Chrome MLS. That was a fun product, but like all the colors cool. But I feel like this 2023 is much better. I feel like the checklist was better. Obviously, our team's in it, so that's cool. But I mean, I just thoroughly enjoyed the hobby so far, and it is like a little community. Whenever you hop on there at night, see you guys breaking. You see a lot of the same names in the chat. And, like Mondo said, some of those guys, I'm getting a lot of people into the hobby lately. Like Ben, we got Ben in there. We got,
Christopher,
Mad Buster. Yep. Christopher. A lot of these guys, man. And now they want to hang out outside of, Whatnot. They're like, hey, why don't we, throw a little get together, and we can all hang out and trade cards and all that stuff.
Yeah. They're like, come to my basement, just you, not Mondo.
Hell no.
Oh, and all that, Jared over here has been calling me Mando for the longest time.
I know, and I listened to one of the podcasts earlier, and I heard Mondo, and I was like, all right, I can't mess this up now. It's Mondo. Now, whenever you jump into the room, be like, oh, it's Mondo. Let's go.
Yeah. That's all right. I'm used to it by now, man. But
it's actually tough, as a breaker when you see people jumping in and. Sometimes you don't know how to pronounce the names. I'm not the greatest at it. Believe me, everybody will shit on me on this podcast after because they know for a fact I'm really bad at pronouncing some names. But it's difficult because you have spaces. Sometimes there's an X in between.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just don't know how somebody wants, if it's a first name, last name pronounced. So it's fun. Yeah. I get a good laugh.
I think you do a hell of a job with it because, you got to go quick, man. Yeah. I mean, you have to have all the players' names right, random people jumping in the chat, and breaking cards. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I
definitely do miss, like, a lot. Like, in terms of, like, the chat, sometimes it's definitely tricky. Or I'll be in the middle of a break, and I'll remember somebody asked a question. And sometimes maybe you'll hear me be like, oh, yeah, by the way, so-and-so said this is the answer or something. I'm like, wow, that was 20 minutes ago. They're like, that was 4 boxes ago.
Yeah.
You just remember that now. I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing that you've ever said in one of the breaks is where you're like, hey man, I'm still trying to push that Cucho or something like that. and then you're like, wait, that didn't sound right.
I was like, hold on a second. Oh man. But yeah. But see, you gotta have fun with it too, because it's you do have to provide some sort of entertainment value, even if somebody who's really good with that is Vito Breaks. He's excellent because if you haven't jumped into a break with him, he's a funny guy. He's got an Alabama accent. It's just
I don't think I've been in
combination.
I don't think I've been in a.
You got to. He's a good guy and just very entertaining. So if you find me entertaining. I mean,
I've seen him hit some big cards, man. Outrageous. What What was it?
Yeah.
There's like 4 packs left, and he goes, "I'll buy them." And then he hit a redemption card in it, and I'm like, "No, like how? I don't know. It's crazy."
Yeah, I think I've the most redemptions too. It's crazy. We've hit 2 black to 10s, a couple golds, a couple green. It's
1-on-1. I mean, he's got everything.
I have hit him the 1-on-1s. Yeah, I mean, we've hit obviously a ton of 1-on-1s. You know, coming into this year's product, I wasn't too sure. You know, you guys didn't see me rip last year, but we hit over like 50 superfractors between Chrome and Finest, mostly Finest. Finest was really easy to hit just because we were ripping. You know, some people always ask, like, oh, how do you know? You don't. I truly don't know. It's just when you're ripping so many cases every night.
Yeah.
It's just like it's the odds. So you're just bound to hit over time. You know, we don't have to put on a tinfoil hat now, but but like I do try to buy my cases from. You know, there are certain distributors that I like to purchase from more than others, just because there are trends of better cards getting hit. So I'm always trying to get the best hand. You know, deal the best hand for everybody.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say you've hit a lot of 1-on-1s this year. Like, what are you up to now?
Yeah, I think over 18 out of this product. I mean, this product's definitely. It was easy the first couple weeks. I think like the first week we hit 5. It's like 5 in like 2 nights.
That's crazy.
I'm a big believer in front loading and back loading. So like essentially top sometimes kind of juicing like the early cases, and then things kind of dwindling down, and then there's usually like a restock, and then there's like a resurgence. There's definitely patterns that could be a whole nother podcast, but it's definitely something where it's fun, but at the same time, you can go on cold streaks too. We've just been very fortunate.
Yeah, especially you guys. I mean, Daniel, I get like a text from him every time. Hey, check out Legit's thing. He just hit another.
I mean, some of them are. I mean, I don't care whether it's a $50 card or a $500 card. It's fun. Yeah, that's the joy that I truly get out of it too. Is like obviously opening cards is fun, but when you can hit like the 1-on-1 and you hit it for the guy or gal who's chasing, you know, Seattle or St. Louis or, you know, Colorado, or the Galaxy, any team that has a true following, it's a home run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not Kansas City, they don't got one.
yeah. You know what's great?
That's a free spot.
Yeah. I know. Every time people don't sell them, I'm like, hey, do a givey, man. Just get rid of them. Oh man, that's crazy. I mean, what's crazy too is, you know, I have 3 1-of-1s hit.
Yeah,
which is insane. Daniel
hates wild.
Pirlo?
Yeah, Pirlo, Juninho for the Red Bulls, and then my boy, I'd never leave the house without it. Giacchini, baby.
That's a missile.
Dude, that's crazy. What?
Bro, I have none. I've been breaking now for almost 4 years. 0.
It's extremely lucky. Like the Pirlo one, I was getting into NYCFC because I was a huge David Villa fan. Like I was chasing his cards for a while. And then I didn't even know I was still in this break. I didn't even know I won the bid. And then I get a notification, someone tagged me. I like log in and there's a 1-of-1 Pirlo sitting there and they're like, congrats, bro, congrats. I'm like, what? No way. And then the second one, the Red Bulls, it was like going for like $11. I'm like, I'm watching that. I'll just buy it. I'll buy the spot. Buy it for $11. Hit a 1-of-1 Juninho card.
Yeah, that was Sunday League. I think hit the Juninho.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was nuts. And then what's funny about this, we were recording a podcast. Me and Daniel were with the South End supporters, and I go to the bathroom and I start checking my phone. People tag me. I go back and look, and of course, I hit the 1-of-1 Nico card. And I watched the reaction of the guy, and the guy was like, "No way." Oh man, I'm speechless. And he puts it down. I'm like, what? That's it? I was expecting like a big, reaction. Nothing. I'm like,
where's the old baby?
Oh, baby.
I'm like, come on, man. Oh, but that's what I like. It's just funny because like if it's like a gold or something crazy, like if it's a good hit, like you put that reaction and it makes the consumer or the person buying it feel good. Even if it's like a 199, they're like, okay, all right, I got a hit. Let's go.
Yeah, you got something. You got something.
Yeah.
That's one of the things where MLS, a lot of the cards aren't necessarily going to make you millionaires, but it's something where it's cheap enough where you can jump in, have some fun, get some entertainment, get some cards of your favorite team or your favorite player. And I think that's why, for the most part, the breaks fill pretty consistently and pretty easily, no matter how many people are running breaks, because there's truly enough demand with many big cards still out there, even when they are hit. You know, people don't want to miss out on potentially hitting a red or a superfractor that if a true collector has it, it's probably it's not going to appear online. You know, it's just it's going to your collection.
Right.
Well, I just think the value too, like for $20, you can sit there and be entertained for, however long it takes to break a case. For most spots, not for the St. Louis spot anymore.
No.
But the value's there, So it goes according because, even like a card out of a blaster like this, $20 for a Klaus. This is a Klaus, people are just they're paying for it. So it's totally worth it. But even if you're looking for somebody who's, whenever I was getting into like Mosaic and Prism and all that stuff, dude, sometimes you get skunked, you don't get nothing. I've been on that side too, where you sit there, you sit through a break and you're like, damn, all I'm getting is base cards back. And they're considerably more expensive. It hurts.
That's like, that gets me to the point of just like the value where it's like you said, $20 spot. You're going to get, even if you get one or two numbered cards, like, okay, you can justify having those cards for $20. Not the end of the world. It's your team. Cool. Obviously St. Louis being a little more, I think that's one thing that was actually surprising to me too, was the fact that, initially the spot was priced cheap and I bought it in almost every break.
Yep.
I literally think on the first week people were charging $30 or $40 and I'm like, that's too cheap. And that was before like, I was maybe pricing it at 50. I don't know, but like obviously over 100, there is justification between value and demand.
Yep.
When you start seeing yourselves and other St. Louis fans all bidding for the spot, at the end of the day, somebody may come in and say, oh, it's too expensive, but there's enough people bidding on it.
Yeah.
So maybe to somebody it's expensive, but to everybody else it's not. That gets into like a tricky, like a slippery slope of like pricing spots.
Yeah.
That's why this is the first product that I didn't actually start posting prices, like buy now prices, up until maybe like 2 weeks in, I think, because even though it took longer, I would just rather auction it and everybody's a fair shot.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you kind of figure out a baseline of like where the spot should be, and then go from there.
Exactly, because that's where it was ending anyways, and sometimes even higher. So, it was wild.
I remember, in the beginning when I first started, Daniel was like, man, that's way too high. That's way too high. And then now going back, I wish we had those prices again.
There is always like an inefficiency in the beginning when like a new product comes out. You can always try to find it like just based on checklists and stuff. And, sometimes you can, for the first week, you can get a team low and then all of a sudden it triples.
Yeah.
I would say MLS stays pretty consistent overall, just because certain teams get a lot of cards. Like Seattle's basically the same price as it was last year and this year because they just get so many hits.
Right.
There's certain teams, LAFC gets a lot of hits, the Galaxy, like the bigger teams, big chases, they're always going to be like a $50, $60 spot.
Yeah, I think that was like when I was in that 5 case break, which was insane because it was only like $150 for that whole 5 cases. But I didn't hit any. I think I hit like one gold Miggy, and then the rest were like blue and green. But I got the value. Like I got like 21 cards, so like it was there. The value was.
That was a good value one. That was just those guys. They priced it like week 1, but they didn't run it up until like a month later.
Yeah.
So I think it was a timing issue. But like that's something like great. Great value. Like, I'm a value guy. I think I took Austin for $90 for 5 cases. Like, I'll take that all day. That's,
I don't ever.
I got stacked cards. Like,
yeah, it was insane. But I was hoping, I'm like, 5 cases, man. I got to hit something big, something red, black, something. Nothing, man. But that's how it goes.
The one thing, like, collation comes into play. And that's a whole, like, you see it. You guys have seen it firsthand. Like, there's cases where teams crush every break, and there's other ones where I always say, they forgot to get on the bus.
Yeah.
know, like they're still eating dinner. They're at the bar. Like they're just not here. Like where do they go? Like you won't get a single card. It's crazy. It doesn't make. That's the one thing that does not make sense. Like, yeah, can't really talk on it. It's impossible to know. Like,
yeah, and it's not up to you. It depends on where you buy the box. You know, like which location.
I mean, look, we're pretty like as you've seen. It started last year. We're big on like dated cases. I'm pretty transparent. Like if where I try to get the cases from, I'm like, guys, I think like this case could be good. I don't know, but like if I say it should be good and it's good, I look like a genius. And then if it doesn't look good, all right, we'll forget because 5 cases later it'll be a great case. So we're okay.
Yeah, I remember hilarious. You saying, "Oh, just wait till we hit those boxes I got back home." And honestly, it came out true. You know, you started hitting some bangers.
Those cases were hot. I mean, it happens. Like, I mean, we had a whole thing last year where it was like Jared can't rip in New Jersey. Every case is bad in Jersey. Jersey cases are trash, and then Florida cases are good, and then it would flip flop. But yeah, you have to, like I said, you have to have fun with it. And that's what makes it great because for consistently, almost for we've done MLS for 2 years now. It's been fun. There's a good mix of like prospecting involved too, of like chasing some rookies, going after some guys who have opportunities to play for the U.S. men's national team, maybe some guys who can go abroad down the road. So like whether you are a true fan of a team, if you have a local team, or if you are just a collector who wants to, get some rookies, a lot of these guys are really young. So like why not buy some guys pretty cheap, and if they start playing well or have opportunities down the road, you have their first cards. And I think that's what's very big and valuable at this time, especially with last year and this year's product.
Yeah.
And, of course, 21 Chrome as well. I don't know if did you guys buy any 21 Chrome?
I did, but just single boxes. I never got into any breaks for 21 Chrome. But, to that, like he just pulled the Nico Giacchini 101. It's a big city striker insert. But now he's moved on to a team in Italy, which, potentially keep him playing in Serie A next year. They're up there for promotion. If they could just stay right there. Yeah. So
that's what I like.
And it gives them a little bit higher opportunity possibly to breaking into the U.S. men's national team again. So, and he's still young. Yeah. He's like 23.
Yeah, he's 23.
So,
which he seems a lot older than that.
Yeah, because we had just met up with him like a week before.
You guys worked out with him,
right? Yeah, we worked out with him. I regret not getting more cards signed. I always go in and I get like a couple things signed. I always get a couple for like fans that we can give away. And then Daniel brings his whole freaking book. I always feel bad.
Dude, I had him sign pictures. I had him sign a book that he was in. I had him sign like pen cards. I
should have. Yeah, I need to start doing that. I just feel bad, but I'm like, because I'm like, if I bring a bunch of stuff and Daniel does, I'm like, he's gonna be sitting there signing a bunch of stuff for free, and then I don't know.
He was cool though.
I think it's different because like you guys are doing a lot of content though with them, so it's different than like if I walk up to him. Like, I mean, I gotta send like a kid to go sign. Like if I walk up to him, he's probably not gonna sign. He's this guy. But like you guys are doing content, or like I see that at games sometimes. Right here in Orlando, the guys will sign everything, but once they get to like the older guys, the guys who are pushing the kids out of the way to get something, they're like, no, like I'm not.
Yeah, that's like part of that sucks because like I went down to spring training for the Cardinals, and I'm like, dude, I would love to get some stuff signed for my man cave. They would not come near me or sign anything, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? And then that's why when we started this podcast, I'm like, dude, we're gonna give away as much autograph stuff to fans. I don't care if they're adults, kids, like whoever can win this. I don't care. But it's crazy that you mentioned that. But you see like people waiting outside for the players to walk out with like, big binders full of cards waiting to get something. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's a business, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I think MLS is a little different because, again, I love the MLS market because at the end of the day, it's very community-based and collector-based. There's not as much flipping involved as other, like for Champions League cards, EPL, like, people are buying to flip or, if he's going to score 2 goals, all of a sudden they're going to sell their cards. Like, MLS, like, yeah, everybody sells some cards they don't want maybe to free up some cash, but, like, you don't see a lot of them once they come off eBay or come off, whatnot, wherever you buy them from. they're kind of gone. You know, it's a little different. So that's why getting autographs in person, I think, is awesome for the MLS because a lot of these guys don't sign either. That's the other thing. Like, the only time they're going to sign is in person.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like Berkey, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Berkey's going to have his first public signing like next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he does have some Champions League cards, but, you know, in the St. Louis kit, he's really pulling it in. He played for Dortmund.
There's somebody in the chat was saying that I think Daka set he has autographs in, which is I think it's like a Asian set. I know they did one for Dortmund, like Holland has some stuff in there. So I think like maybe that's like his only other.
He has some in museum. I got one of his in museum. But you know, it doesn't beat being the St. Louis and so I had him sign some of his other cards too. Whenever we met him last summer.
Yeah, gave me the whole book. I can't remember what I got signed. I think I just got like my jersey signed because once we started this podcast up and we started meeting the players, I brought like an away kit and I just had each one sign it as we did content with them. So I have a few missing, but man, I was pumped when Berkey signed that thing. What about you?
Especially when it is somebody who's not always signing, so it's like
exactly. What about you? Any favorite players that you're like, man, autos just hit you different?
I mean, I like Facundo Torres having an auto for Orlando, at least for the MLS. I collect a lot of stuff, so not just MLS, but I'm a big baseball collector too. So I'm just a big like Derek Jeter fan. And
here's one I just got back. Like Jackson Holiday, PSA 10 auto.
That's nice.
Just got that one back.
That's a big prospect, man. He's a young kid. I saw him when I was in Jersey. Double A, the Somerset Patriots is a Jersey team. It's a Yankee affiliate, and for the Orioles, their farms team was playing them, and it was pretty crazy. Kid's young, and he had a bomb. I was like, dude, this kid. And then he got called up literally at the end of the season, which is crazy. So, but yeah, I would say Jeter for at least baseball, Jeter and Trout, and then for the MLS, I mean, I'm a sucker for Torres right now, and then I do like Alex Morgan's autograph. Alex Morgan has a beautiful signature. And she signs a lot, but she doesn't. So finding some of her stuff is always like a challenge. I'm pretty like a well-rounded collector. I collect tennis cards. I collect a little bit of everything.
Beautiful signature.
That's when you know you're in deep, baby.
You got a beautiful signature, beautiful something else, dude. A face, obviously.
Obviously.
Personality.
Yeah,
personality.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest like chases, at least like in the MLS, is always trying to find guys who don't always sign and then hoping that they do either have a signature or not. Because you have some of these guys who they're like, I just always think of the Philly guys. Last year they signed so many cards. Your Quinn Sullivan, your Jack McClain's, like, I mean, it's just like. But like, if you get a Bedoya autograph, like that's pretty awesome.
Were people
Mr. Captain?
Is that what people were complaining about? Indy cards, Indy Vasilev, like last year or on Miami.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, so like he's got everything in the Miami kit, but like he was already playing for St. Louis, and I don't know what's going on there. It's Topps. Topps is always behind, as you've seen. Like they're always releasing at the wrong time. And it's like, where's his autographs this year, right? Because I'm sure they still have sheets of stickers. Why wasn't he included in as an autograph?
Yeah, dude, they get thousands.
Yeah.
Well, with Indy, like his, in his Miami kit, they're like $2 a card now for his autos. Which
they did. It's funny though, because they did kind of spike at one point.
Yeah,
because we had a bunch, and a buddy of mine. He's like, yo, all of a sudden they went from not selling to selling for $10, and then I think everybody pulled them out of their $2 boxes.
Yeah, they did go up whenever he went to St. Louis, and then now that he's got a new card. But man, they would have made a killing had they just saved some of those stickers to put on those cards.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's a big chase. Like besides who is it? You got Miggy is your chase, and who's this other kid, Glover?
Yeah. He's a young kid. He's good.
Kid,
yeah,
right?
I'm
Caden Glover.
Sure he'll get some first team.
Yeah, Caden Glover. He's actually now moved up and he's playing with the team. Preseason. So hopefully he gets some more minutes and he looks pretty good, honestly.
Oh yeah,
striker. We'll see if he can help out. Which now we have, even though Giacchini left, now we have Caden. We still have Klaus, Adeniran, Thorson, Celio Pompeo, which that's the one I wanted to. I was hoping he got a card. He's a Brazilian kid. Dude plays nice.
Dude can ball. Yeah, he can ball. I would say,
hey, maybe Finest. If we get a Finest product, you never know. Like, that's the one thing. There's always going to be people that are missing. Like, last year was tough as an Orlando guy. We had one card to hit. It was Torres. He was the only card between Chrome and Finest. So it was tough.
Yeah, that's like with St. Louis. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard because we're a little biased, but like AZ, Celio, Tim Parker, who else? Like that.
He's doing that signing too, right?
Yeah, Tim Parker. Yeah, Tim Parker will be there. He signs a lot. Like we always say this, like their marketing agent Giovanna does like a crazy, phenomenal job of getting these players out in the community, being with the fans. Like Parker, Bartlett before he went to DC United. Who else is there? They just got Celio. Miggy was there for a little bit, and then I think there's one other player, but I can't remember. But yeah, it's just crazy the access that you have in MLS compared to other sports.
Yeah.
Well, not Miami, excluding Miami. Yeah. And that's before Messi. So we went down there for a bachelor party, and we went to one of the games, and like Higuain, bro, you couldn't even get near that guy. Like he had escorts, like because you could get to like one standing room only spot, and like if you wait there after the game, all the players have to walk by you to get to the other building. Nah, man, they kicked everyone out. They're like, Higuain's coming, like you have to move. I'm like, man, come on. Like,
it's so crazy to think now. Obviously, we have Messi, and that's one of the things. Talk about not being able to get even close to Higuain. You're definitely not getting close to anybody now.
Yeah, no
Suarez, no Messi. Like, there's just no shot. It'll be interesting to see this year as a full season how that. Like, I'm more interested in seeing how the away games are. Like, are people are people going to be camping out hotels? Like, what's the security going to be like? This is a full season. This isn't like a half season now. People are going to plan out routes. Like, there are some fanatics that are just going to, have it on lock and try to, get an autograph, which I respect. But it'll be fun to see.
Yeah,
who has
and
success.
it's all a gamble too. Like buying tickets to away games because people are like buying it, and who knows if he'll play. There's no way he's going to play every game.
No.
So it's like you're paying big bucks to go to, like, if he doesn't play in KC, bro, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with the Orlando. Orlando, it was like over 300 to get in. And I think once, there were rumblings he wasn't going to play, the market came down. And then when it was official, I think it was like $35 to get in the building, which is like a normal night in Orlando. You can get in for like $30, but yeah, it's going to be unfortunate. So it's one of those things where you may just want to wait it out. If you're an away fan and you're listening to this, you're not in the St. Louis, Missouri area, definitely wait it out.
Yeah, they were crying today. Single game passes or tickets went for sale today here in St. Louis, and people are already crying because what was left that wasn't taken by season ticket holders and the City Plus members, they were face value was already like over $100 for a regular season game here in St. Louis.
And that's great. So so back in 2015, me and my buddies we travel to different MLS stadiums. Like every year we go to a different stadium, check out the fan experience. We get in for like $25, like easy. Like now it's like going to these STL games, we got to pay $100 to get in the supporter section, which is crazy. Outrageous.
It's not just inflation. It's just it goes back to breaks. It's supply and demand. Like there's not as much supply. There's a lot of season ticket holders. I believe they're very sold out. There's definitely a waiting list. So it's like the market is what somebody's gonna be willing to pay, which it sucks, but it is what it is. It's crazy. And we see it across I do have experience with tickets. It's very interesting to see different markets, how they respond. A lot of home games, like in Orlando, the supporter section isn't $100. I think you can get in for, like I said, $30.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's Orlando, but you're St. Louis. It's a new team. There's a lot of demand. Doesn't matter who's playing. People want to go out and have fun. I'm sure if you go to New York for the Red Bulls, I'm sure it's definitely a little crazier. I know Philly has a very strong supporter section. So, you definitely see some markets where it is pretty expensive.
Yeah, I've been to Orlando for one game. I was going to go down for a work trip before COVID, and then all that happened. But I got to keep the credit on my account for like 2 years or whatever it was. So I had bought an all-inclusive ticket for myself, and then the game I wanted to go to was LAFC because I was following them at the time. And I told my wife, I'm like, it just happens to be on your birthday weekend. And she's like, well, I'm going to go to Disney World. Is it Disney World in Florida? Yeah, Disney World. And I was like, all right, I'll take you, but we're going to that game. And for like, I think it was $200, all inclusive. We got to sit right behind LAFC. Like, it was sick. I loved it.
Did you have the one where you go upstairs for the food?
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
It's, in my opinion, it's worth it. Like, I'm somebody who definitely will spend a little more just to get, like, I think it's free food and free bev.
Yeah.
So, like, you can get both. It's pretty good. And, like, for $100 or whatever it was, I recommend it.
I said we got all inclusive in Miami too. Theirs was a little different because it was like our seats were way up high on the like left side, and you had to travel so far to get to the area where all the beer and food was. I'm like, this is miserable. Even Orlando,
yeah, they did it on purpose.
I know.
They don't want to lose money.
I was like, that sucks. And so like I didn't even sit in my seats the whole game. I just stayed in the spot. I'm like, I'm gonna keep drinking. But in Orlando, it's the same thing.
That's nice for Orlando. You just go upstairs.
Yeah, you just go right upstairs, which it's still a little bit of a way because, run up the stairs after like 5 beers.
Then Mondo pushed like 10 kids and got his jersey signed by the whole team there in Orlando.
No, yeah. Dude, that's...
Oh, I saw that. I saw you then.
Yeah.
Like,
he was one of the
kids.
Oh man, so I was there. I was talking to some of the players. I'm like, hey, after the game, can you sign my jersey? Because I was like the only person in LAFC jersey like there, and they're like, yeah, no doubt. Well, they ended up coming back, winning 4-2 at the very end. Like, it was an awesome game. And then they all went to the other side and celebrated and just left. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh.
And I'm like, it's not like I'm there all the time. So one of the trainers were walking by, and I was like, hey man, like, what are the chances you could take my jersey, go get a sign? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, man, they told me they would sign it, but they just left. And he's like, all right, give me your jersey. I'll see what I can do. And then so he took my jersey, went back, and we're waiting there forever. Everyone left. Security guards were grabbing me and my wife, telling us we had to leave.
Yeah, I was going to say, they always try to get everybody out.
And I'm like, hey, man, like, the guy took my jersey. He's like, do you have proof? And luckily, my wife took a video of me handing him my shirt. And the guy's like, thank God you had that, or you would have been out of luck. And I'm like, thank God. Wow. So then they took me up top. I waited for a while. Guy came back. The whole jersey signed by the whole squad.
That's incredible.
It was crazy.
Then he did it again in St. Louis.
I need to get that guy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been very fortunate. It's just like being drunk. I told my wife before the game, I'm like, look, whatever I say or do, just run with it. All right. We're getting some stuff signed. All right. But
I love it.
It's been crazy.
Hey, being persistent. That's what works.
Yeah. But I mean, if I go in completely sober, I think Danny's the same way. You get shy. You don't really say as much, but you get a few beers, man. You get that liquid courage.
I was going to say liquid courage. It's there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
It's definitely good and bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh man. So any favorite cards? Top 5 cards that you've pulled?
Ooh, it's probably going to mostly be MLS because that's some of the crazy.
Yeah, we'll stick to MLS anyway, so people can relate.
Yeah, we'll do MLS. Paxton Aronson, Superfractor Variation, from Sapphire. That's probably my favorite just because of the whole backstory. Basically, give you the more than 10 second pitch. But, in 22, I just wanted to rip some 21 products, and Sapphire was coming down in price, and there was, good opportunities to chase Paxton, who I do collect. And we finally found cases of Sapphire, which we didn't think existed. And literally one of the first cases we ripped in Jersey. It wasn't in the bunker. It was in the other part of the house called the craft room. And we hit it. And my brother's like, I told you you'd hit it. I'm like, we didn't know we did it. But, so that was my first favorite. Second favorite, I think, was Cade Cowell Superfractor Auto from 22 Chrome. Knowing how hard it is to hit anything in 22 Chrome, because the print run is like triple of this year's Chrome. And I hit it for my my buddy Mab collection. So we were really pumped about that.
That's awesome.
Because we had been chasing it. He had bought the spot. You guys thought you spent a lot on breaks. He probably bought San Jose for 100 plus breaks. And like, we finally hit it. So it was very rewarding in the end. One of the other crazy top number 3 would be, it's 2 cards. It's the Gareth Bale Superfractor and the Ricardo Pepi Superfractor Auto from Finest. We hit those 2 in the same box.
What?
That's insane.
Like a midnight rip special. It was crazy. That was probably the craziest, like double. I mean, sometimes you get 2 a case, but that was definitely number 3. Number 4, number 5 would be tricky, but I'd probably say in Finest, we had 1 case where we hit 3 Hani Mukhtar. We hit his Superfractor prized footballer, which is one of the ones with like a border. That was inserts. We then hit his out of 5 frame, which was another one of the inserts. It was like a frame card, and it was red out of 5, which was crazy. And then we also hit his auto frame, all in the same case.
Oh man,
so
that's
that was crazy. Like, you hit the Superfractor, and then you hit the 2 others. It was just like, it was just crazy. And then the last one I would say is probably we hit Jordan Morris Superfractor Auto for Belcanto.
That's a sick card.
He's a big Seattle guy.
That's a sick card. I like Jordan Morris.
And we had been hitting so much, like, I had been hitting so many cards for him for Finest and Chrome last year. So the fact that I was able to, you know, finish his rainbow, literally hitting the Superfractor Finest Auto was just, it was like the icing on the cake. It was very rewarding. You know, those are like definitely the 5 that stick out the most. I'm sure I could go on a tangent for all the other ones, but like, we go back to the point of being able to help somebody build their collection. That's something that it's not going to leave his collection anytime soon. And just knowing that buying breaks and consistently hitting something and then hitting that was, you know, that's very rewarding for myself.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, obviously I appreciate the support of everybody jumping in literally every night. It's obviously it's not cheap. It can add up. But being able to actually complete, like, finish the mission basically of literally hitting, we hit every card from, we hit the red auto, we hit the Superfractor auto, the gold. It's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Definitely top 5.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I love that you share that, because it's like, you know, you get to know these people over time because they're in the breaks all the time. And then, like, you know their mission, right? You know what they're trying to get. And then when you get that card and, like, seeing or reading their excitement on there, it's just another level. It's different, you know?
And a lot of these guys, it's fun because sometimes they're not even in the break. So I think, like, even, like, Chris Belcanto, he wasn't, like, he's always like, oh, like, I was sleeping or I was having dinner or, like, putting the kids to bed, whatever it may be. And he sees hundreds of tags, you know, and he's like, uh-oh, I knew something happened.
Yeah, that's my favorite. You're like, uh-oh, I hit something.
Hopefully that happens to me one day.
Hopefully it happens tonight, right?
Yeah. That is kind of the secret. Like, you know, a lot of people hit big cards in my breaks, and sometimes it's like buy a spot and just go to bed, wake up in the morning, or don't even check. Just wait for the package to come in the mail and see what happens.
I don't think I could wait that long. I'd have to check like a
video. I had a couple during World Cup Prism that they didn't know they hit like golds out of 10s. And all of a sudden I'd get like a crazy text. One of the guys, Paisano, I hit the Bono, the Morocco goalie, to 10. And he sold that card for a lot of money because obviously there was a shitload of demand.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I can't believe I hit this card. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, we're calling you out. And he's like, oh, yeah, I was asleep. I didn't even know until I opened the mail. But like, that's the secret. Buy a spot, leave, and see what happens.
I mean, that's where I've hit my biggest hits when I didn't even know what was going on. Danny, what about you this year?
Ooh.
Top picks. I know.
Yeah, biggest hits
for me
card so far.
Well,
we'll stick with MLS.
Well, I mean, Miggy hit a couple of these to 50 autos. Just overall, just all the cards that I've hit for St. Louis. I've been pretty fortunate to be able to get into quite a few breaks, and I'm pretty well on my way to completing a couple of rainbows. So going to need those big cards, the 10s, the 5s, and the 101s.
Yeah.
We got to pry the supers from everybody. That's the problem. That's what's crazy about this year is I've never seen a product, where so many like 1-of-1s and reds come out so early. In years past, it was very difficult to find those cards. I think the other reason a lot have shown up is just this year you have so many people ripping MLS. Like last year there wasn't a lot of people. I was one of the only ones running breaks every night. Now you have every breaker, everybody who has an allocation of product ripping it. They don't even know what they're chasing half the time, and that's when you see some cheaper prices, some crazy prices. But because you have the Messi tax, everybody's going to want to get involved, which I think is great for MLS overall. It puts more eyeballs on the market, which I think we can all agree is very good as soccer grows in the U.S. And then it also kind of can screw over the Inter fans, unfortunately, with the pricing. But but I mean, it's good overall, and it'll definitely be exciting to see as more products come out how people adjust accordingly, and what they decide to chase, or how if other big cards do continue to come out. It's only been a month and a half, and I feel like a lot of stuff has been hit, which is pretty crazy, and yet cases keep.
Yeah. Where do you think we're at as far as ripping? As far as total product rip, like a percentage wise, you think we're like halfway through everything printed, or you think we still got a ways to go?
I think there's just over 1,700 cases of this stuff, which is pretty low for for a product. I would say probably 30% has been ripped.
That's crazy. Maybe. I would think higher.
Maybe more. I don't know, though, because a lot of it just hasn't been... I mean, what's 30? 500, 600? I mean, I think at least 500 cases have been ripped, right?
Like, and that's just you, probably.
Maybe 700, 600-ish.
That's crazy.
More? I don't know if more. We've ripped about 50 ourselves in breaks. That's why I think 30% is probably a conservative number, but maybe it's
what's crazy is that like only 30% or whatever, but like a lot of Messi's, a lot of 1-of-1s have been hit already, and it's like these prices got to drop down. But it's funny also that you say like people are just buying in because of the Messi hype. There's one break I got into, and the guy's like, "Look, I don't know any of these players. I just got it because of that." And then he started like sleeving and top loading like refractors, like just normal inserts. I'm like, bro, it's gonna be a long ass break if you're doing that. Yeah. Remember, I sent it to you, Daniel. I'm like, dude, bro, what is this guy doing, man? But
yeah, you do all that when you're off the camera. You just like I said earlier. That's why you said you like my ripping style. Just get to the hits. Like, my style typically is. If the product first comes out, I'll take my time. I'll go through it because, it's the first time we're all seeing a product. Right. So definitely need to enjoy it and see what's being hit. But eventually, it's like, all right, we know what's going to get hit. We kind of know what we're looking for. It's going to get sleeved and top loaded, but that's that's in the wee hours of the morning when I got to go back home and start sorting and everything else. Not going to sort it here. We'll be here for 6 hours.
Yeah, I still think there's like a happy medium because some people are so fast that you're like, dude, I just spent $100 on this break or whatever it is, and it's gone like that. So it's like, at least you go through some of the cards. Like, you do it fast, but you still go through them before you get to the hit. You kind of build it up some. Some people just rip the cards like out of the way and be like, all right, there it is. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. And it's done. And we're like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah, because it's like, look, I participate in breaks. Like, when I'm not ripping, I am participating. So I know kind of the experience that I like. Everybody, like we said, has their own style, but I know what I enjoy. So I try to do what I like and then base it around feedback. I always take feedback from people. If I went too fast, too slow, sometimes I'll be cool with it. Other times, all right, thank you for the feedback. I'll remember it. Because and I'm like, all right, it's in the back of the brain. But it's good to know just in case.
Right.
Because obviously you want everybody to be happy, and you have to treat everybody equally because they are all a customer,
right,
but can also become a friend. So you want them to want to enjoy being in the room, even if, you know, there's people who are always in my rooms who don't even buy into the break. And I don't mind. I love it because they're participating in the chat. They're building the viewer count. It's all collective, you know, a positive as a whole.
right.
You know, you don't always have to feel obligated to spend money. Like, just come hang out.
Yeah. And
you know, like,
and honestly, like, that's awesome that they're willing to, like, you know, spend their time just watching you rip cards. Like, that's something.
I'm honored.
Yeah, that's something.
You want to listen to me? Like,
which we'll go back. I don't know if I should repeat this or not because Daniel got away with it once, but when he told you had a face for radio.
I don't know about now. I'm still like all red. It's too hot in this. They shut off the air at like 6 o'clock in this office.
Looks like you got away with it again, Daniel.
Are you a one-man wrecking crew, or as Legit Sports, do you have multiple breakers? Or because I mean, mainly we've just been watching your MLS, so I'm not sure if you have other stuff going on at other platforms or what all you got going on.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I've done this literally by myself, going on 3 years of breaking now. This year, thank you. You know, certain products I'll hire a local friend I have, just to help me sort cards sometimes. I just started using TaskRabbit actually to hire some help on the side, just to kind of like, you know, maybe get somebody who can consistently help me sort. You know, if it's something I do on scale, you know. It is a side job, but I do take it seriously as basically a second full-time job doing this because I'm consistently on, try to be on every night or every other night. And my one negative is I have a hard time trusting people to do like the sorting and stuff because I don't want somebody to get the wrong cards.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point.
You know, if I have control from start to finish, you know, I'm the one sorting it. I'm the one packing it. I'm the one who's literally getting it scanned in. Then I know if there's a mistake, it's on me.
Right.
I don't have to go to somebody and be like, well, they got the wrong team. Are you sure? And it's not like there's cameras. It's like, yeah, I either did it or I didn't. So me knowing that I did it, that's why I'm still a one-man wrecking crew. But maybe someday we'll hire a second breaker just to kind of like, you know, break during the day or something, or maybe do some sort of night rip just to, you know, there's definitely plenty of demand. It's just finding the right person to do it too. And I think that goes across any job or, you know, industry you're in. It's always hard to find like good people that can do a job and trust. But it's definitely challenging as a one-man crew sometimes. But, you know, the one thing that I've learned is you don't want to kind of like, I used to term a lot online is having the plumbing backed up. Yeah. Because if you keep ripping, there's so much work on the back end that people don't realize. Like, it's not just like sorting cards. You got to sleeve, top load stuff. You have to sort it to the right, you know, invoice for the package. I have to spend time going to the post office. There's always a line. So it's like figuring out the times of the day to go in between work. You know, you don't have to juggle both things. And it definitely takes a lot of time where if you keep ripping, and we don't need to tell a long story, but there were breakers during World Cup Prism that were just ripping cases after cases after cases. And they were shipping all cards, not just like shipping hits, which World Cup, you should ship more cards. It's a Prism product. It's expensive. But then you wouldn't get your cards for 3 weeks. My mentality is I'm providing you a service. I'm ripping. I want to get the cards into your hands as quick as possible because you can then do whatever the heck you want with them. Maybe you're trying to sell some. I want you to get the most value possible for that card as quick as possible because that's more value, and then I assume maybe you'll come back to rip with me because I'm going to get the cards to you quicker, or you can get them to you as a collector. You can get them to PSA or wherever you want to grade them faster than somebody else. So that's kind of like why you'll never see me rip too much because I know there's a ton of work on the back end that if I need to take a night off to sort, otherwise, if I rip every night, you'll see your cards, but it's going to be weeks. Right. You just can't have that happen as a business.
You know what's crazy too is like if you run multiple breaks a night and not everyone gets the same team throughout all of, you know, the breaks like that. I mean, it's just crazy to me. Like, so I respect what you guys do.
It's a challenge. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, in the beginning when I was at home, when the first week the product came out, I was doing, I think I broke it up into 3 box breaks.
Yeah.
I was doing like 4 3-box breaks. And you guys may have St. Louis for 1 and 2, and then somebody's got it for 3, and somebody else has it for 4. You have to sort each break individually. You can't sort 1 and 2 together because even if you guys have the same teams, somebody else may not have them for 1 and 2. So you literally treat every little 3-box break as its own sorting, and it's very time consuming. And I think that's what people don't realize. Goes into kind of pricing breaks. Everybody can price a break the way they want. You obviously have to value your own time, and everybody has different costs associated. I have an office now. There's a little more overhead. I'm not ripping out of. I was used to rip out of my kitchen. I needed to get everything out of the apartment a little bit.
Your parents' house.
Parents' house was good. Yeah. Hey, look. Yeah, exactly. Had to pay pops a big. 1 meal. Keep them happy. But so everybody has different costs, and some people are like, and I'm independent. I'm a one-man crew. Some people are ripping for just a shop or a big breaker. Some people, I'm using my own capital for this. Some people are just a breaker and they're being paid, by the break or by the hour just to rip. So nobody really knows each seller's individual situation.
Right.
So I think that is also what makes it fun though, because it's very entrepreneurial. So if you are entrepreneurial, you can really kind of grow with it and build it. I didn't think I'd be ripping this amount of product as a one-man crew. I just kind of did it, like I said in the beginning, for fun, to get some cards so I could grade.
Yeah.
Because there was literally no other way to get cards besides being in breaks or breaking cards at the time. So now seeing monster collector base across all of soccer, not just MLS, but your Champions League collectors, your EPL collectors, it's fun. And then you can obviously branch into other sports, but the soccer market is where my interest lies. So it's something where it's just for right now, you just kind of stay in your own lane and you kind of grow with what you know.
Yeah, and I've heard multiple people say they only break cards that they're not interested in because if they pull something that they really wanted, they're like, damn, it's so hard to get rid of or something like that. But I see it to a point because when me and Daniel don't get a STL spot, we're like, I hope there's nothing in there, man. I hope there's nothing in there.
But at the same time, he is getting some joy out of, getting the people what they want. And honestly, just seeing the cards sometimes, it's like, well, there it is. And you know where it's going. So, you kind of feel good about that too.
Right. Yeah. I would say at first, it was more like that. I hope they don't get anything. But then as I get to know some of the people in these breaks, we are happy for them, that they got their cards, even though it's ones that we want.
100%. I think that's what makes it so unique. I think I notice it more in MLS because, I'll rip. I've said this on some of my lives because sometimes people ask me, oh, why don't you rip certain products? I'll always rip an MLS product. But there's certain Panini products or Topps products that I'll rip if I'm able to get a couple cases. I'll rip it because I know there's demand, but I'm not going to allocate a lot of time or capital to it because I may just not feel good about the product.
Right.
It's hard for me. Maybe I'm too nice or too honest. It's hard to kind of fake something if you're not interested in it. So I'm only gonna rip something that I have interest in and I follow. Or have a player that I'm interested in following or seeing if we can find their cards. I think to your point of some people not being interested or being super interested in it, I've heard stories of people breaking cards and them hitting the card that they were chasing for somebody else and then they hate themselves. But as a breaker, you can't really think that way.
Yeah.
It's not the right. You can, but
yeah, that's why I never buy lotto tickets for other people. Imagine you buy a lotto ticket and they hit 25K or something crazy. And you're like,
take them to court.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I'd be happy, but at the same time, I'd be like, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
How about you, Mondo? What's your big hit? What's your favorite hit this year?
So it's
Gioacchini?
No, well, those were cards that someone else pulled for me. Personally, it's a funny story. So we went to Miggy's uncle's house and we got to rip cards with Miggy and his uncle. And so I got 4 boxes, 1 for Daniel, 1 for me, and then 2 for him because I was buying cards off of him. So I was like, I'll give you 2 boxes in exchange for the 2 cards. So we're ripping cards, and Miggy pulls a blue Messi, and I'm like, dang, because we took turns. I'm like, hey, you pick a box, I'll pick a box, you pick a box. So he picked that one. He got a blue Messi. I'm like, no way. And I'm sitting there ripping cards, and I got the gold Messi variation. Okay. Just sold for $450. I'm just saying. Not bad.
Good sale.
Yeah, so I think that was probably the biggest card I personally hit. I think. I don't think I hit anything else bigger than that.
Solid, yeah. I mean, look for MLS stuff, honestly, like, even Messi aside, like a $300, $400, or $500 card in MLS is, it may not be super high end for other products, but for MLS,
I guess my biggest card was
it's a big card.
It was a Houston rookie Thorson, or I think, it was a Perlers to 5, but then I got Jip the Auto in my box.
Yeah.
It made up.
I mean, the red probably better.
I sold it for $150 on eBay, so I paid for the box, and I got a couple of St. Louis. I think I got a Miggy and a Leuven out of that box, so I was like, done. I was happy.
Yeah, worth it. Yeah, so it's been.
I just thought of something about cards being hit. So listen to this story. I don't know how much time we have or whatever, but
we have plenty of time.
This is a good story. This is what built actually a really good relationship. I don't know if you've seen him in some of the lives, but his name is Gildo. It's Guadavest. He in 2021 MLS Chrome, somebody bought him a box. I had just come back from LA. I bought 3 boxes from Burbank, and I was setting up at a show in Jersey. I was living in Jersey at the time. I bought boxes for like $120. I put them on my table at $150, make $30 a box. I'm happy, pays for the table for the day. I sell 3 boxes to a friend of mine. They rip one of them, terrible box. They take the other 2. He's like, oh, one's for Gildo. I knew Gildo a little bit. We'd seen each other at shows. We were friends. But not, didn't talk every night. Like, we chat all the time now. But all of a sudden on my drive home, I get like hundreds of messages. Like, people I don't even know are messaging me. Gildo hit this. It's the Superfractor Caden Clark auto, which in 2021 Chrome was literally like the big chase. Clark was the chase. It was Clark and Pepe. And I'm sitting there like, that damn box. I knew it was a good box. All 3. I don't know what the 3rd box had. It probably wasn't good, but I was like, I had 3 boxes. I brought them from LA all the way to Jersey, from Burbank. That's one of the places. Sometimes they have good boxes.
Yeah.
And it was sitting on my table. And then Gilda, and he sold it for $5. It was a very big sale. And now the rest is history. Now I'm great friends with him. But it was one of those things where it was like, go back to the point of, you don't want to think that way. At the time, I was like, damn. Yeah. But it's going to somebody good. He's a good guy, needs the money, and then boom. Rest is history. Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's just like, you just don't know what's in a box.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the fun chase. It's a little bit of obviously a gambling aspect, but it's fun. Like, there's worth to spend $100, $150 on, in my opinion, at least, being in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, this episode is sponsored by LegitSportzCardz, because you don't know what's inside of a box. This man sent me and Daniel our own individual purses, baby. So all 3 of us will be ripping a box tonight, and hopefully we get some STL or something crazy, dude.
Need a big card from one of these. These are all loose boxes. You guys saw some of the loose boxes last week. We hit a red Messi Perler, so literally anything is possible.
I know. I was wondering every time, like, since you said you were shipping us these boxes, I was like, is it part of that box? Is it part of that box? Like, what's being hit? You know what I mean? I was trying to keep tabs, but.
Yeah, so, like, there was a point as the prices were going up on a lot of this stuff, I just started to buy, like, loose boxes from everywhere. Yeah. So, I have no idea. You saw
us trying to summons the goat.
They could be terrible.
We're going to try to summons the goat.
Out soon enough.
Oh, baby, let's go. All right.
Let's go.
So we're going to rip these Jared style. We're going to open up all the packs upside down.
Hey, there it is.
Low on here, too.
Oh, yeah, let me get this.
Let's go.
Oh, I love that, baby. Yeah. Let's go. One of us. Daniel needs a hit. If I don't hit anything, I hope this guy gets something.
All right, boys. Moment of truth.
Oh, man.
So we'll open up all the packs.
Okay.
Set them upside down like Jared does them, and then we'll if you hit a color, we'll show the color.
I know. I didn't really. Yeah, I didn't think this part through having double cams or whatever. But we'll go with it.
Once you get a color, we'll share it.
Let's see.
Dude, I'm excited, man. This is exciting stuff here.
You gotta hit like a layers or something. That'd be crazy.
Dude, oh my god.
Oh, what was the date on your box? Mine was 12/19. It's on the inside flat. Top.
12/20.
12/15, 12/20, 12/19. All right. We need 3 tinfoil hats for this one.
Oh, different dates. 12/15 has been good though, Daniel.
12/15 is good, yeah. That's what's crazy is the dates have just been. There is like a consistency, like a consistent theme with some of the dates. Well, I have a perler here. That's actually pretty sharp.
Uh-oh.
We won't look at it. That will.
Dude, imagine, one of us get a 1-of-1 STL.
I hope so. I'm all for it.
So I need a red of 5 Giochini Big City Strikers to complete my rainbow.
That's the one? Okay. See, so that'll be my goal now. If I see one, I mean, a lot of these guys will tell you firsthand, I will tag everybody so fast if I see a card that somebody needs.
Yeah, that's the one I need.
It's like you better get it. Especially St. Louis. That's a card that, if that gets run on auction.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's pretty cool because a lot of the people like in there, like you said, it's kind of a community, and that they're like, okay, you need this card, I'll treat you right.
Or that's the thing too. Like if somebody has 2 of something, or if they already have one, they'll kind of, they'll take a step back most of the time.
Right. You never know though.
You never know.
On eBay, I found out people love the snipe, dude.
What do you mean? Oh, like last
second, they'll put some crazy bit in there.
Dude, you can tell you're a pro. Dude. Are you done ripping them?
I've been watching
this. Sometimes
holy shit. I still got like 10 packs. Yeah. This dude's a pro.
Me too, bro.
Ain't no way.
Hey.
No, I mean, honestly, some of the ways, like, I watch a lot of breaks, and there's guys who I only break with because of their ripping style. Because, like, I know how they rip, so I'm like, I need to learn how. Like, I'll watch them just to, like, see how they're ripping. Because I'm like, you gotta see what's the new technique on the block.
Dude, I love how, like, especially soccer players, like, especially ambush, people be like, man, I could do that, like, what the hell? And then now we have you, a professional ripper out here, and we're over here doing it. And you beat us by a mile, dude.
No, I mean, I have a hard time, like some of the guys know, like, when I'll be working last year, I'd be bored at home sometimes. It was a slow day. I would just, like, rip the case of Finest. I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm ripping. It'd be like 2:01, right? And by 2:30, I'm like, all right, guys, here's all the hits. They're like, how did you rip a case in 30 minutes? I'm like,
all right,
I just, like, wanted to rip and see what we got,
Right, exactly.
Like I said,
all
good
right,
and
I got
bad.
one more pack. I'm going slow.
I still haven't flipped these over yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, are we gonna fan them out or not? No fanning. Let's keep it all a surprise.
Okay.
All a surprise.
Yeah, no fan.
So once you hit your first color or whatever, like, we'll share it. All right, we going?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you're showing. Oh, I like that. That's
see what we get.
Showing it on the camera.
Yakamakis. Boom.
I got a speckle.
Hey, there's my guy right there. Well, Farson, that's who it was.
Okay, you got 4. All right.
Let's go.
I got one.
Sullivan.
All right.
Sullivan. I like Sullivan.
Oh, I got a Future Stars.
Bro, I got all the Norwegians, I think. This is Thorelson. Ulfarsson.
The Thors run together.
What is this? Jonathan Lewis,
Hermashi.
Colorado, out of 199.
Oh, baby.
What is this?
Oh!
You can't keep him away, dude.
Rigged. It's rigged.
Oh.
Darren Yappy to 25.
That's what I was thinking to myself. Hey, that's not bad. Right,
that's good.
I was thinking to myself, I was like, if I'm upset with my box and Daniel has the better box,
there's my guy right there,
50% chance that it was going to me. Hey, Leuven.
Your box wasn't tracking for. I was nervous because I dropped them off. I had to run.
My box.
That's my biggest fear.
Hey, I got a gold Orlando.
Oh, there's my auto.
Nice. Yours, Mondo. I think yours was the one that wasn't tracking.
Gold Vargas.
Oh, gold Vargas. All right.
Oh, bad.
That's a Belcanto card.
I think I have a gold Vargas I still got to get rid of.
We got my Perler coming up.
Ooh, all right. Big City Geo. I need the 5, though, baby. I need the 5.
Is it
not numbered?
It's a rookie.
Fletcher.
Oh, not Perlers. What is it? Oh.
Fletcher.
Hey, at least I didn't get my auto in this box. Hey, we're coming up.
Right.
You know, that's one thing. I've seen people not get autos. We've been pretty lucky with, like, not getting...
Right, I haven't hit a color yet. There we go. Green.
Hey, where's our color at,
Rev. Come on, man. Let's hit something good here.
We got Benteke Aqua.
Let's go.
It's so hard. I'm, like, looking into the camera trying to see.
I got him upside down.
Oh, yeah. I'm clearly covering my face. This is
Boom.
a better way to do it.
Gerard. Flashback.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, we're going on the fly here.
All right. I'm halfway done. I got a Thomas Williams 55 at 125. Not bad.
Whoop. No auto. Are you?
Nope. Yeah, I have no auto yet. You? No auto over there?
We got green.
Nope.
Let's see. Green.
Still looking for your auto. Gastag.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
okay. Buck on the auto. We'll take a base.
Auto. Hey, sometimes you get more.
Hey, there's a Brandon Vasquez speckle.
Auto.
Now he's playing Mexican League.
And
he's tearing it up.
Yeah.
155.
Yeah. Actually, I think he.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he scored.
Oh, there's some CONCACAF Champions Cup tonight. I think they're down in South America tonight. Got a refractor there.
Do something good, baby. Oh shoot. Oh, of course.
There it is.
There we go.
There's your guy right there.
Hey, not bad.
Another gold.
Let's see if I
Nico.
There's no color in here.
Oh, you got a good box.
Yeah, hey, 2 golds, a 1/25, and an auto. Oh, boys. I think we got our boy coming up. I thought I saw the hand of God. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hey!
There we go.
I thought that was his hand. Then another Farson.
He was right before.
Yeah, we didn't talk about.
Hey, Bill.
We didn't talk about. Ooh, orange. Really sharp. We didn't talk about Arm of God. You guys were telling me Miggy's watched some of the breaks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I have a gold and maybe an orange in here. I hope it's not just the Houston player, Cincy player.
Diego.
We got anything left here. Let's see.
On, who's this?
Ooh, Luna.
Diego Luna, baby. All right, come on. I know I have another gold coming up.
Is that Benny Bender?
Yeah, I'm done.
Benny Bender.
Hey, are you done yet, Daniel?
No. Just a base card.
STL? Come on, we got to get an STL.
No STL
all right.
Here. Wow.
Hey, pushing that Cucho.
I remember that. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I keep dropping them. This is getting tough.
Hey, color
match.
match.
That's
nice. Real nice. Close enough.
Well, it's gold and that's orange. Yeah, I think there's an orange in here. Luckily, I keep dropping like the bad cards. All right, there's a base Geo. Oh, there's an orange. I got an orange, guys.
Leo Chu.
Who is this? Leo Chu.
Seattle, baby, Seattle.
All right, that's what I got.
Man.
That was it.
Honestly, I think this box was really good. Got that 2 golds and an orange.
You 2 gold.
Yeah, I think I got 2 golds.
Got some juice boxes.
What did we do here? We did an orange. We did an orange,
hey, that's good.
a perler, and the messy big city. I'll take it.
Yeah, I got 3 blues, an aqua, future stars, 2 green. Yeah, 2 gold. One of my golds is an auto and an orange. That's not bad.
I got a question for you guys. How did you start the whole podcast stuff?
Okay, yeah. So me and Daniel, we started going to these games and we started coming up, like having these crazy encounters with like all these players and stuff, like Leuven, Akil Watts, like we just running into them, had all these awesome experiences, like fan experiences, right? Like it was just awesome. And then one day, I was coming back from a trip, like me and my brother-in-law, we go fishing and golfing like throughout a week. Like we do like a week trip and that's like our thing. So I'm driving home from Manhattan, Kansas, and I'm just thinking it's like a 6-hour drive. And I'm just like, man, all these stories are crazy. So I just call him up and I'm like, dude, what if we just started a podcast and just started sharing these stories? And like, if it doesn't, pan out, whatever, at least we're having fun with it. Cause we were already dressing like refs, like just to have fun, like just to joke around. I was like, we already kind of have a thing. Like we can call it.
I've watched ever since I've met you guys through Whatnot. I've obviously followed you guys. So it's fun seeing you guys are interviewing everybody in the stands. You like, Star Wars night, you're interviewing everybody. Like it's fun. It's really fun to watch you guys do it because it's unique. Like you don't see a lot of people doing that kind of stuff, creating the content. You guys look like you're thoroughly enjoying it, so it's fun.
Oh yeah, like I'm always laughing all the time. Like I always tell Daniel, like, bro, go ask this question, and then before you even ask it, like I'm dying laughing because I know what's coming.
But what's that show where the comedians kind of tell each other to go say stupid shit?
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, basically like that, dude. Like we'll have like little inside jokes or try to throw stuff in there that, they won't catch right off the bat, but if they watched it back, they, they would get it.
That's good.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a ton of fun, and honestly, I can't believe, how far we've come because we're not even at the 1 year mark from the time we actually started.
I don't think
doing
we're at 9 months yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did you guys start it?
Our first episode dropped May 16th.
Wow. Could have the big 1 year episode.
I know. I'm still trying to figure out how we're gonna top a lot of the things that we've done so far. Like we have our own beer.
Is that what is it at Old Harold?
Yeah, Old Harold makes that for us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Yep. So it's been
so
crazy the things that we've been able to do. Like our 5th episode, we've had a player come on, like which is outrageous. And the only reason we got him on is because I talked to him like back in November, like 2 Novembers ago randomly. And I don't know, it's just like everything happens like organically, randomly, and it just like it's been working out, but like I don't know. It's just been a crazy ride, man. Crazy ride.
I think it's great. And you guys are bringing a lot of just awareness as a whole. You build a following, seem like great guys. Like it's something where I'll travel just to go to a game and hang out with you guys. It's one of those things where it's like you can tell like when you're thoroughly just having a good time doing what you like to do.
Oh yeah. Hey, that'll be epic. If you ever come to St. Louis, yeah, we'll make a whole thing of it. We'll get you a ref shirt. You'll come hang out with us.
We'll for sure be going down to Orlando at some point.
Yeah, by all means.
For sure. My wife's like obsessed with Disney. So we were just there last summer, so we already planning to go back. So
yeah, when you're in town, don't hesitate to reach out. Usually I do leave sometimes in like the end of July because it's too hot. I go back to Jersey. But besides that, I'm here 9 months out of the year.
All right. Yeah, we'll definitely have to plan something. Hey, well, we appreciate you coming on. I think you shared some great insight on, what breakers do, like especially behind the scenes, because there's a few questions I didn't even have on there that you shed some light on. So it's awesome that, the viewers will get to see that, especially a lot of the St. Louis fans like me who just started this year. It was awesome. And we definitely appreciate you sending some boxes our way. It was awesome ripping with you. And now we know like how good you actually are because it took us like an hour to open these packs compared to you. Oh, man. But we appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate it. Definitely an honor to be on. I appreciate, meet you guys in person now, or at least over the podcast. I had a great time. And hopefully I can come back soon and share some more stories with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. There'll definitely be some more collabs in the near future, brother.
I appreciate it.
Till next time. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. City
Cheers.
baby.